I have another foundation review for you guys today, and this one is the Dior Forever Natural Nude Foundation. I have tested it out once, wore it throughout the day, so I kind of have my thoughts on it. But I had so many questions when I reviewed this Hourglass foundation. How do these compare? What are my thoughts about them? So in this video, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the comparison between these two and longevity and all that stuff. I also have some new MAC lipsticks. They came out with a nude lipstick collection, and many of these lipsticks are from the past that they brought them back. There's also new lip liner. The Cool Spice lip liner is the one I wanted so bad, and I went to multiple stores and it was sold out everywhere. However, I did find a dupe for that color from Anastasia. So I'll talk about that after we put the foundation on. A couple of things about the new Dior foundation. This is a medium coverage, buildable. It is supposed to be a natural luminous finish, gives hydration, and it's supposed to last all day long, 12 plus hours. It has skincare benefits in it, very similar to the new Hourglass one. I will say that on the skin, this feels more like a gel. This Hourglass one feels more like a cream, like a true moisturizing cream. This one is more like a whipped gel formula. This is $57 if I did not mention, so very similar price to the Hourglass, and you get 1 fluid ounce. The shade I got is 2.5, and that's usually the shade that I am in Dior. 2 is when I'm not tan at all. 2.5 is when I'm a little bit tan, which most of the time I am, except today. Today I am not. But I wanted to swatch the Dior shade and then the Hourglass shade 13. If you haven't seen my review on the Hourglass, I'll link it down below so you can see that one as well. But I wanted to compare the shades. Here is the Hourglass shade 13, and this is a Dior shade 2.5, and Hourglass has more warmth in it, almost peachiness. The Dior is a little bit more neutral, and I think the Dior is just a little bit lighter in shade. Maybe from afar you can tell that it is just a little bit lighter. So I think overall the Dior match will be better for me. You guys know I do tan sometimes. Right now I have absolutely no tan, but I like to match my foundation to my tan. And that's usually the shade that I am. A couple things that I've noticed about this foundation is that it is not as glowy as the Hourglass foundation. In my last video, there were a couple comments saying that it looked oily on my skin by the end of the day, the Hourglass. And I can see how through the camera it looked like that, but in person it didn't really look oily. It just looked a little bit glowy. But these lights just make everything look more intense, like the highlight is more intense, the pores look more intense, everything looks more intense in this studio lighting and with this camera. So that's why I like to take you outside in natural light and kind of show you how it looks in different lightings, so you can really see the difference. I am just using a small BK Beauty 109 to blend this in. So this still has some luminosity to it, but I would say it's a natural luminous finish compared to the Hourglass that it's a full-on luminous finish. It blends in really nicely. It has that kind of gel formula, but it has a very strong smell. That the Dior foundation smell, fragrance. So if you are against fragrance, obviously stay far away from this one because it doesn't bother me, but I notice it. This is another amazing foundation. I wore it yesterday all day, and at the end of the day, it looked beautiful. It looked better than the Hourglass looked at the end of the day. Longevity, I feel like this doesn't get that oily throughout the day, and it just stays kind of more of a natural luminous finish. The Hourglass definitely got oilier throughout the day, mainly the last few hours of the day. And with this one, I found it a little bit more maybe stable than that one. And I love this. I absolutely love the Hourglass. Since the video, I've worn it every day besides when I wore the Dior one, and I love it. I think it's a beautiful, glowy, very kind of lit from within foundation. It reminds me very much of this Hourglass skin tint with more coverage. So that's kind of how this foundation, after wearing it a few times, it reminds me so much of their tint. This Dior one, I think a lot more people are going to be able to enjoy it just because it doesn't have quite as much glow as the Hourglass. But it still has all the benefits of being smooth on the skin. It does give that hydration feel. And yeah, it's really beautiful. For example, right now, it looks very glowy here and here because the lights are smack on me. So usually we have to powder for that to go away. But in real life, it's glowy, it's luminous, but it's not excessive. Like, I don't look oily. I look like I have a nice even base with a healthy natural glow. So that is a very thin layer of the foundation. Right now, let's see the coverage. I would say the coverage is light coverage, maybe light medium. I will build it up right in this area just to see how it builds up. But coverage-wise, it does remind me a lot of the Hourglass. And it's beautiful. It's so easy to work with. It's smooth. I do have dry patches and my face is peeling some. So there's a few issues with my skin, but the foundation doesn't seem to cling to any of those. So yeah, this is how the foundation looks like on half of this face. And then with nothing on, I think it looks beautiful. It looks even, very smooth, just like the Hourglass. It does have this almost like blurring effect. Sorry, I have a dark spot right here. But yeah, even around the pores, it looks very smooth. You can kind of see that this color is just a little bit darker than my natural color, but I'm actually gonna go get a tan tonight, so it will match. I would say for YouTube, the hardest part is the lighting, because if you turn down the light, you can't really see what you're doing. Just overall, it's too dark. But if you turn it up, it just makes everything too glowy, or it reflects off of your forehead. And natural light, for me, it's not stable because I have kids and it's loud and I can't just record in the living room or something like that. So I find it the hardest when I review foundations is the lighting, to try to show you exactly how I see it in real life in different lighting. I think that's probably the most helpful thing that I can do with these foundations. The foundation went on very smooth. This gel formula is actually very pleasant to work with. I really like that. It feels thin on my skin. It doesn't feel heavy at all. To be 100% honest, it reminds me so much of the Hourglass one. They're both beautiful. And I'm surprised they both look so nice around the pore area. I'm going to go finish the rest of my makeup and we're going to come back, show you how it all looks, and we're going to try some MAC lipsticks. Here is the makeup all finished. Besides the lip, we'll do that in just a little bit. But I used the same concealer that I used in the Hourglass, which is the Sarah Creel concealer. That's shade 3. I used my Makeup by Mario powder under the eyes and just kind of like a little bit here. And then the blush is this one from Chanel. This is from maybe 6 months ago. But I used this color right here, just a little bit there. And no highlighter. I decided not to put any highlighter so you can actually see how the foundation looks like. I think this blush does have a little bit of a glow, but it's not too much. It's just a little bit. And that's it. I put mascara, and on the eyes I have these Armani eye tints. This is what I go for almost every single day. I think the shade is 33 and 30. I will link it down below because these are rubbed off. I can't tell which one it is. And that's it. That's what we did on our face. I think the foundation looks beautiful. It's not as glowy, as you can see. Just once you start putting a little bit of concealer, it kind of just balances everything. It's still smooth. I want to say that, sorry, I'm looking for my puff right here. I want to say that the Hourglass looked smoother around the pores. Seeing it in this light, I remember with the Hourglass, I was like, wow, this looks so smooth around my pores, around my nose. Actually, the nose looks pretty good right now. But the pores, I think with the Hourglass, it looked a little bit smoother, which is interesting because I think the Hourglass has more glow to it. But overall, I do think it looks nice and pretty and just, I don't know, it looks good. Like it looks like a good foundation. I will take you in different lightings and show you how the foundation looks in my bathroom, which is probably the best place to record. In the back, in the front, just like different lighting so you can see how it truly looks in real life. Let's move on to the lips. So like I mentioned, MAC came out with their nude collection. And I know that these two, the color Fleshpot and Peachstock, are old favorites that they brought back. I'm not sure about this one. This is Yash, but this is a matte formula and these other two are just the creamy formula, and I'm very excited to try them on. Now, like I mentioned, I did want to purchase the shade Cool Spice, but it was sold out. However, in store, I swatched a few other lip liners just to find a dupe, in the Anastasia Muted Mauve. I think I have it. Yes, this is it. It was so similar to Cool Spice. Maybe Cool Spice had just a dot more, maybe a little bit more cool, but they're so similar that when I swatched them side by side, I couldn't tell which one's which. So I'm going to put this one on because these lipsticks, you cannot wear them by themselves, okay? These are very muted lipsticks that make you look dead if you don't have a lipstick. This is the first shade, which is Yash. Actually, I'm going to put this one on first, because this one is the least nude out of all of them. They had a Cool Teddy actually. It was not for me. I like this one. It definitely has a little bit more brown. And I'll show you how it looks with a lip liner. Again, you have to wear lip liners with these. Here is Yash with just a little bit of a lip liner. I normally would put the lip liner on first and then go with the lipstick in the center because the lip liner doesn't have as much pigment if you go over it. So that's the lip liner, that is the lipstick. And I like this one. I wore this one multiple times. And when I wore it, I actually wore it with a deeper lip liner and I like that a little bit better. But here is Yash. Let's open up Fleshpot. This is the one that I was most excited. It looks like a beautiful pinky peach. And it's very, very bright, okay? Right there. Let's swatch the peachy one as well. This one I almost did not purchase because it looks straight up orange. And I don't think it's gonna look great. Definitely not with this shirt, but with a deep lip liner, I think it could look pretty. Wow, the swatches are just all over. So Fleshpot, Peachstock, and then Yash. I'm gonna try this one because I'm not gonna wear the peach one today, but I do want to see how it looks like on. I put a little bit of that muted mauve lip liner, and we're adding a little bit of the peach in the center. Not everywhere, just in the center, and then dabbing it to blend it into the lip liner. Ooh, that's actually pretty. Yeah, this one with a brown lip liner, that would be a beautiful kind of peachy nude color. Let's try the, I think this is Cool Brown from Anastasia. I think that this would work even better. And that is Peachstock with the lip liners. definitely quite peachy, and you gotta have to wear the right things. It's not an everyday nude for me, but I can see myself using that one. Last one, I'm going back with a liner in Muted Mauve. These Anastasia ones are such good liners. They are probably one of the better ones that are sharpenable out there. I like these better than MAC, just so you know. And let's try the lightest one. Again, put it just a little bit in the center and blending it out. Maybe this bright red top was not the wisest choice while testing these lip colors because they don't match, but this is Fleshpot with a little bit of a liner. I'm gonna try to fix this. Let's see if this lip oil will help with the coloring. I ended up wiping that lip because it was just a little bit too cool tone. So I used my Chanel lip liner in 162. It's an amazing color, with the Ami Collet in Bliss, just a gloss. So that's what I'm wearing right now. Okay, that is the finished look. Let's zoom you in so you can see how the foundation's looking like. The foundation definitely has glow to it, but it's not overpowering. It's not too much. The Hourglass at this point felt much more glowy and more hydrating. So I think if you have dry skin, you may like the Hourglass more. The coverage is very similar, but if you have more normal skin, even normal to oily, I think you may enjoy this one, because it's not too much. It's a good balance between natural and a little bit luminous. It looks nice on the skin. It has medium coverage. And I do have to say, one thing that I've noticed is that the Hourglass overall looked a little bit smoother around this area right here, which is my biggest struggle, and most people struggle, is, you know, around the mouth, around the nose, around the chin, where things can separate a little bit. I think the Hourglass looked a little bit smoother around the pores, but don't get me wrong, I think this looks beautiful as well. And like I mentioned, I think in the beginning, this did seem to last just a little bit better than the Hourglass throughout the day. The Hourglass, I thought, lasted really good. It felt nice and kind of set on my skin. But at the end of the day, I did notice quite a lot of movement here, mostly when editing the video. I think it helps me. So there was quite a lot of foundation lost around this area. And yesterday I was intentional about watching this foundation before I wash it off at the end of the day, and I didn't see that. I thought it looked better around this area, but I think the foundation, the Hourglass foundation, was just smoother around the pore area. I think both foundations are beautiful and very similar. So if you have one, you do not need the other one. But I would say if you are leaning more dry, I think the Hourglass will be more hydrating and just luminous. I think if you're more normal, even normal to oily, maybe the Dior would work better for you. It is a nice, natural, luminous finish to the skin. And like I mentioned, I do think it lasts a little bit better. Actually, decently better than the Hourglass. Although, you know, when I tested this out, I was very surprised how long lasting it was for a luminous foundation. So which one do I prefer personally? I don't know. I feel like I really like the blurriness and smoothness of the Hourglass, but I need to test the Dior more and kind of wear them one day, one the other, because they're so similar. So I don't think you can go wrong with either of them, and it depends what your skin needs. So I have not made up my mind which one I like best, but I will show you this foundation in different lightings. I will not do a wear test today because I don't have enough time to give a full good wear test, because I have to take my makeup off for training tonight. And I've already tested this out multiple days, so I know this lasts really well throughout the day. You'll just have to take my word for it. And about the MAC lipsticks, I actually love them. I think I just wore the wrong shirt for the lip swatches, but I will make sure to do a reel just swatching the 3 that I have with some lip liners. That way you guys can see them a little bit better. So let me show you now the foundation in a few different lightings. Here is the foundation in my kitchen lighting, and it is quite bright. So hopefully you can see. Let's zoom you in. You can see that overall it's not as glowy as the Hourglass was, but it still has a beautiful kind of natural glow to it. I think it's really beautiful. Yeah, I think it's really nice. Again, I felt that the Hourglass had just a little bit more smoothness here, but it doesn't bother me. It's kind of unnoticeable when you're this like normally far away. If you're super close, maybe you would notice a little bit more, but yeah, it's almost insignificant, dare I say, when you just look at me. So yeah, this is one lighting. Let's move to the back door. Here is another lighting, so you can see. I never know the zoom in and zoom out. I always go the opposite way, but yeah, this is how the foundation looks like. I think this is a little harsh light, but it'll show you kind of everything around the nose area, the mouth. Yeah, I think it looks beautiful though. I think it's a beautiful foundation. And as you can kind of see, the color is blending in, even though it's just probably half a shade dark. It works just fine. But yeah, let's go to the bathroom. Okay, this is the bathroom lighting, which is usually my favorite to record check-ins in because it's pretty balanced. It's not too bright, but it's bright enough that you see everything, but it's not harsh. So let's zoom you in. This is how everything looks like. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more I can say about it than what I already did. I like it. I think it's beautiful. It lasts well. And I feel like I'm getting to the point where so many foundations remind me of each other that it's so hard to say this one's better than another one. You know, I really like the House Lab foundation, the Dior, the Hourglass, the Fenty Lit, I think, foundation. They're all so similar on the skin where I don't know which one I like better or which one I would recommend better. I think at this point you guys just need to test them out and see which one do you like more. They all have kind of medium coverage and a slight luminosity to it. Looks nice on the skin, smooth. So they're all like nice foundations. But yeah, I think overall the Dior, they did a really good job with this Dior one. Maybe, dare I say, it's probably my favorite Dior foundation, except the stick. The stick from Dior is still my favorite. I think that one is just gorgeous on the skin. It looks so beautiful. But I think this is my second favorite from Dior. So yeah, those are the 3 different lighting options in my house. I am so curious to see what you guys think about it. And I know a lot of you guys like it. It actually has great reviews online. On Ulta, I think it had 4.7 and hundreds of reviews. So that's good. One thing that I just noticed, I just looked in the mirror there, and I noticed that my under eye isn't looking great. It actually looks a little dry and textury, which is interesting because the combo of the Cerakote concealer with the Makeup by Mario powder, I've worn it so much. It's one of my favorite combos lately. But today it looks extra textury. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe it's just my skin. But yeah, I'm not liking my under eyes right now. I like everything else though. And I don't think I put much foundation under my eyes either. So I really think it's just my skin. I don't think it's the actual foundation. And that is it, my friends. Those are my thoughts on this new foundation from Dior. Leave me your thoughts down below. I know a few of you guys already picked the Dior one up and you loved it. I also like it, but I just want your thoughts and opinions. So leave them down below and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.